All right, the Raiders have signed a wide receiver that I think just fits their team. I think he's more than just a camp body, and I think he shows something where it's like, all right, the Raiders kind of hedge their bets with who they're going to pick at quarterback, and they're going to support that with the right players. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we have this channel covering teams and stories that just don't get the love nationally like they should. And so Raiders being one of those teams, kind of under the radar, kind of being ignored by everybody just because the quarterback situation's up in the air. But you look around the roster, it's a really good roster. So it'll be interesting to see, obviously, how this all pans out. But let me pull up who the Raiders have signed. They've signed Dax Milne, and this guy's actually played. So he's played in 28 games with 2 starts over the past 3 seasons with the Commanders. Now, only 15 receptions and 1 touchdown, but he spent the 23 campaign on IR after leading the NFL in 2022 with 40 punt returns and 15 kick returns. So this guy has played a lot of football. It's not like an undrafted free agent or a guy that you're trying to figure out. So what I like about this, if you're a Raiders fan, is you've got your whole thing this year is going to be like, all right, we're going with a guy that in Gardner Minshew that can just kind of will us to victories. We need some guys with some experience, some ability to get out there, make some plays. We've got Max Crosby on the other side. It's just going to be an attitude thing. We're going to find ways to win football games. So we need these types of guys. We don't have time to develop rookies or undrafted free agents. So you have this guy who can step in, and you look at some of the receivers that you have on the roster. So obviously Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers. And then after that, it's like, all right, a bunch of random guys. It's like, has this guy played? Is DJ Turner? Can we get you in there? Can we get Alex Bachman? Like, look at all those, right? So instead of trying to screw around with that, you get a guy that's what you would call a veteran dude in this dude. And I really think that's the way to go. So if you look at him, here's his lone touchdown when he was with the Commanders, kind of a slot / outside guy that can get open, make something happen. I think let's go. Whip route. Boom. I mean, he's got quickness, he's got ability, and he's played. So you expedite the process if you're a Raiders fan. And by the way, we've been asking you some questions on this channel. If you're a Raiders fan, what was the first moment you remember as a fan? So it'll be cool. Look in the comments. Some people have watched the Raiders for a long time. You'll see some older stuff. Marcus Allen, even before that. Some people are a little bit newer. So, I mean, Charles Woodson getting drafted. Like, when was the first moment as a fan, big moment you remember? For me, it was Marcus Allen, 32. I was like, man, it was like Monday Night Football. This is back when, not all the games were on TV. And I'm like, Marcus Allen, dude is fast, smooth. Like, I can't figure this out. He doesn't look like a traditional running back. He's just really, really good. So if you're a Raiders fan again, now your roster is starting to fill out a little bit because let me go back to the roster. Again, this is a high-level view. We're just kind of blowing through it real quick. But Gardner Minshew, you've got the running back, wide receiver. That's what we need. We just need steady guys that can get open, that have played before. This guy does that in Dax Milne. I like that. Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer. Hello. Zach Gentry, by the way, sitting here. This is a former Michigan tight end that was outstanding, that couldn't get on the field as much just because Michigan was loaded at tight end. So I think he's really good, and people don't really know about him. So keep an eye on that 4th string tight end. Tight end is just so strong. Offensive line, good. Max Crosby. I mean, defensively, you're always going to give people problems because you have Max Crosby. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. Tyree Wilson, let's go, step up. Christian Wilkinson, the big ad. So defensively, your defensive line is so strong that you're always just going to be in games. You're going to make big plays. Max Crosby's going to force a fumble. There's going to be weird stuff just because your offensive line is so good. So when you look at it, you can see how, and here's an article today that I thought was good in The Athletic. NFL journeyman Gardner Minshew be the Raiders' answer at QB? I think he can be because he's 28 years old. He's played a lot of football. He fits the Raiders' identity of let's win and do it our way. And it doesn't have to be traditional. We just got to start winning a couple in a row, get some wins under our belt, and let's go. And that's what's so interesting to me about this division. Yes, you have the Chiefs, but you always play the Chiefs tough. You never know. Get one. Okay. So you split with the Chiefs. Then you've got a Denver team that could be okay or really bad. I don't know yet what we're looking at there. Then you've got a Chargers team. Same thing. Could be really good or they could be really bad. Tons of question marks. Like the Lions. You know the Lions. This is the first time in my life I could say this. The range is, I mean, they're going to win 11 to 12 wins. Like they're not going to be terrible, and you can just tell where they're going to be. The range on some of these teams, yourself included, is really big. So it's like, man, I don't know. So this whole division is a massive question mark because, again, you always know that the Chiefs are going to be tough and it's going to be a whole thing. And we could talk about that for 5 seconds. You just know what the Chiefs are with Patrick Mahomes. This is what it is. It is what it's going to be. But then after that, your other teams in your division, now they're looking at you the same way. It's like Raiders. I don't know. Do they have a quarterback? Who's going to find a way to win? Is it going to be this upstart, new look Broncos team? Is it going to be the Jim Harbaugh, this is what they're doing Chargers? Is it going to be, man, new identity, Antonio Pierce, Max Crosby, finding ways to win with Gardner Minshew? He's played a lot of football. He's a really good player. Can he put it all together, finally be more than just a journeyman backup and win? That's what makes it so exciting, because win the division, get a home playoff game, and you're automatically in the playoffs and you get a home playoff game. So can any of these teams win the division outside the Chiefs? I mean, we're betting on the Chiefs, but because of the amount of times you play these other teams, you can get that wild card. So much to think about if you're a Raiders fan. And that's why the season's going to be really fun. As a Lions fan, looking in from afar, it's like, man, this team, I don't know. They could be all right. They're kind of getting slept on because I think Gardner Minshew is going to play well enough to support this cast. That's pretty good. And they start rattling off wins, they can really get confidence and some momentum. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see all of you on the next one.